Welcome back into DSI. We start our news coverage with the protest that took place today in Rehoboth as close to 600 protesters lined Coastal Highway in honor of George Floyd. Now, as we mentioned, this was happened all across from Tanger outlets in Rehoboth in honor of George Floyd. Many of the protesters could be seen holding signs like "I can't breathe" and "Enough is enough." Drivers honked their horns as they drove by. People attending the protest told 47 ABC they were happy to see the Rehoboth Beach community come together in this way, and they hope protests like this one inspire change.
Like to see the government entities, police department, fire department, whoever's involved with these kind of situations to have open-mindedness and to be able to understand that we're all humans.
Again, this was a peaceful protest. However, Tanger outlets still decided to close early out of precaution. Well, speaking of protests in Delaware, Governor John Carney addressed recent ones that have taken place in the state. Governor Carney says he's pleased to see that for the most part, protests across the state have remained peaceful, and he hopes future protests remain that way. The governor says he is now listening to the concerns of the state's African-American community and says he wants to create a change. The governor says while this has been a very busy time with the coronavirus pandemic and now the, quote, traumatic event that has laid bare the challenges in this country, he wants to make sure everyone's voice is heard.
People are very angry with the immediate circumstances around the relationship between law enforcement and the black community in our country. And it's a very difficult history and one that we need to continue to address, to listen to the protesters. That's a big part of my job.
Senator Chris Coons also weighed in on the protest, saying in part, quote, "Peaceful protesters have inspired our state, given voice to the often ignored communities, and started the process of real structural change. As several more protests are scheduled to take place this weekend, I urge Delawareans to make their voices heard forcefully and loudly, safely and peacefully." End quote. The senator also says he is working on bills to bring about change. Well, the chief of police in Dover also took time to weigh in on the protest, saying he wants to work with protesters. Chief Thomas Johnson says he is committed to working with people who want to execute their First Amendment right in a lawful manner. He also says he's committed to having important conversations with community leaders and residents about issues involving the justice system. The chief says he's aware of 2 protests that will be happening in Dover this weekend and says he's working with organizers to ensure the safety of everyone involved. In a statement, the chief said, quote, "We owe it to our community and to ourselves to listen, to understand, and to make a positive change." All right, we move now to an update on the number of positive COVID-19 cases across our region. Maryland now has 56,770 cases after adding 912 today. Virginia is now over 46,200 after adding 661. Delaware now has close to 9,800 cases after adding 27. Now, when we look at the hardest hit areas here on Delmarva, Wycomico County now stands at 967 cases, Accomack at 969. Finally, Sussex County has 4,322. Well, the Wycomico County Health Department is holding another free COVID-19 testing event on June 10th. The health department says the nasal swab tests are open to everyone, but you have to make an appointment. Testing will take place at the health department's Fritz building on 300 West Carroll Street from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're told you must enter from Carroll Street, drive behind the building, and then exit onto Waverly Drive after you're tested. No doctor's referral is needed, and interpreters will be on site. To make an appointment, you can call the health department at 410-912-6889. And of course, you can find that number on our website. It's 47abc.com. Well, Delaware State Police are currently investigating a car crash that happened in Millsboro where 3 people had to be sent to the hospital. Police say around 2:20 this afternoon, the Indian River Volunteer Fire Company, Sussex County paramedics, and DSP responded to reports of a car accident with people trapped inside on Oak Orchard Road. That's what you're looking at right here. Rescue 80 arrived on the scene and began working to remove the door from the Ford pickup truck. 2 of the passengers were able to remove themselves from the truck, but the driver required door removal and EMS intervention to be removed. All 3 passengers were sent to local hospitals. 1 had to be flown. As of right now, the conditions of those 3 men are still unknown. The crash is still under investigation. But enough about the news. Ulysses Garcia, let's talk about the weather because it's going to be hot tomorrow and then a little bit more mild on Sunday. Isn't that right?
Yes, Julian, Sunday is actually going to be the better of both weekend days because it's going to be less humid and it's actually going to feel really nice outside. But tomorrow we still have to battle out with when it comes to the heat and the humidity. This is our Morris Roofing and Siding Skycam in Rehoboth Beach on this Friday night. And things are quiet. Our weather watchers right now, Chucky and Lewis at 74. Ted and Millsboro at 75 degrees. And across the peninsula at this hour, pretty much everyone into those 70s, 70 in Ocean City, 77 in Cambridge. That rain actually cooled off in Easton. Remember, it was 82 degrees back during the 10 o'clock hour, dropped about a good 7 to 8 degrees at 74. But those dew points continue to be very elevated, very uncomfortable right now. Right around 70 degrees, 73 in Easton, 72 in Dover, a little bit less humid towards the coast, 68 in Wallop, 67 in Ocean City, but we're still going to keep those numbers well up for tomorrow, right around 70 degrees. One last uncomfortable day outside, but then a cold front will pass throughout your Saturday afternoon into the early evening. And look what happens by the time we head into your Sunday, especially late Sunday afternoon. Those dew points way down by a good 20 degrees. 50, so it's going to feel rather refreshing for the second half of the weekend, and that's actually going to carry over into early next week. In the meantime, though, we are dealing with a couple of showers not passing through Dover. This was actually really an interesting slow-moving line over Baltimore and Washington, D.C. during this afternoon, but it's really been falling apart over the last couple of hours, but still can't rule out the chance for a couple of these showers to sneak their way over the peninsula as we head into the overnight hours. We're also checking out what's happening with Cristobal, and that is actually now rotating in the Gulf of Mexico, but bringing a good amount of rain out of those feeder bands all the way into parts of Florida, and this is continuing to push towards the north, expected to make landfall late Sunday afternoon into the early Sunday evening over the Louisiana coast, and it's right now up to 45 miles an hour as of the 11 o'clock advisory, so it's actually beginning to strengthen just a little bit, but still going to maintain tropical storm status as we go throughout the weekend. For tonight, 68 to 73 degrees, mostly cloudy, the chance for a widely scattered shower or storm. For tomorrow, just keep an eye on the sky in the afternoon and early evening with that cold front passing through, right around 90 degrees with that west wind at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. So here's that line of showers, though, being a little bit eager when it comes to these storms at 1:30 in the morning. As you saw on that radar, though, not really that impressive. We'll start off with some sunshine in the morning, but that's going to allow for that chance for those storms to really try to flare up in the afternoon and evening, and then really smooth sailings on your Sunday. We do have a marginal risk, though, for your Saturday. Damaging winds is the main concern. And then on your marine forecast, though, really a southwest and a west wind for tomorrow. And really Sunday's a nicer day when it comes to the beach. Just don't forget that sunscreen. And then over the next 7 days, chances of storms return late next week. Julian?
All right, Ulysses, I got Sunday marked down as the best day of the weekend. Thank you for that. With that, it is time for our next break. But when we come back, we return with a special edition of your top 5 plays brought to you by Delaware Appliance. So stay tuned for that.
Hi, I'm Keely Block from Parkside High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.